Hey people, Radical here. As you all know, I am a big fan of games made for the neurodivergent, and today I want to talk about one that I've been playing quite a bit of, Megabonk. A game that just came out in September and is the latest craze among Guilos that will probably last about a week. It's a roguelike that combines the brain rot of Survivor likes with the autism of Risk of Rain 2. One day, my beloved. I'll make a video about you one day. On top of that, the movement is absolutely nutty, and the main reason I got the game. But now, after playing it for a bit, all I really want to do is listen to this banger soundtrack. That song made a white tear come down my leg.
Who's coming? Huh?
Characters. There are a couple of them, and each one has something different to offer, ranging from 1% armor per level to being able to climb. Quick rundown, these are the fun characters, and the rest of them are kinda meh. I am completely biased. Listen, I wouldn't really worry much about the character you pick. They all pretty much play the same, except for the fun ones. Because who doesn't want to skate around at Mach speed, has a skeleton with a cool pair of shades, whose damage scales with how fast you are, and he passively gains movement speed over time. Just don't get hit, or all that movement speed will be halved. Calcium is easily the most fun and infuriating character for me, because every time you play him, you're basically trying to do a no-hit run, or you lose all your speed and damage and can no longer fend off the goblin horde. What about the monkey? Well, at first I didn't think much of him. Climbing is pretty useful, but not all that interesting, until I realized I could do shit like this. S-tier character. But what if you don't care about moving? What if all you wanted to do was just stand there and kill things with pure aura alone? Well, that's what Megachad is for. His starting weapon is literally aura, and when he gets hit, he just flexes on them. But if that doesn't sound tanky enough to you, how about becoming essentially immortal? Not only tanking, but reflecting damage back at enemies. Well, that's what Athena. Fuck that biz. Ignore Athena, pick Amog instead. He starts with Poison Flask, and his passive makes poisoned enemies explode on death, spreading the poison even further. Stick with me here. Reroll until you get the Bloody Tome. Now level it until you have 100% lifesteal. Congratulations, you're basically unkillable.
I'm fucking invincible!
Still not satisfied? How about Robinette, who gains more gold the more she levels, and whose damage scales slightly with the amount of gold you're carrying. Her greed absolutely sickens me, but it also makes me wonder, how many runs have I lost because I was stockpiling gold instead of buying items? How about the ninja, whose passive sounds unbelievably good until you realize it's absolute trash. But if all that sounds like a little too much, you can just lock in Dicehead, who doesn't care what you go because he gets a random stat upgrade every level.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Meaning, he can do anything. Items. One of the many reasons this game is compared to Risk of Rain 2. There are 4 different item rarities: green, blue, purple, and yellow, whose effects can range from 10% crit chance to a 25% chance that Kevin will hit you. Most of these items are genuinely interesting, some of my favorites being turbo socks, turbo skates, and golden sneakers for the ultimate movement speed build. At this point, I'm moving so fast that my biggest enemy is myself. Because at 100 miles per hour, the chances of me running into a monster's loving embrace is pretty high. So yeah, the items are pretty good and can easily make or break the run. But what about our weapons? What legendary and priceless gear do we have at our disposal? And best I can offer you is some floating rocks, a bone, and a banana. Now, I know that sounds underwhelming, but trust me, these weapons can be as strong, if not stronger, than the legendary hero sword. For example, let's take the banana and go for projectile and size tome. Keep upgrading them, and congratulations. You can now play Donkey Kong Bonanza without spending $80. What about the dice? Whose damage isn't all that, but has a 1 in 6 chance to permanently increase your crits every time you throw one out. The dice are my personal favorite, alongside sniper and shotgun, because these two work very well with crits and you can aim them. But what about tomes? Tomes are basically stat upgrades. You want to go crit build? You take the crit tome. You want to go thorns build? You take the thorns tome. But for the love of God, if I hear you say, I want to go shield tome, I might have to ventilate a skull. The tomes are pretty simple, but very well designed. There's only one teeny tiny problem. 3 of them are basically required for a tier 3 run. We'll talk about tier 3 in just a second. These 3 tomes are luck, XP, and difficulty. First 2 are pretty obvious, but why difficulty? Well, difficulty increases the enemy stats, which sucks, but it also increases their spawn rate, which means more XP and gold for us. And trust me, you'll need all the XP and gold you can get when attempting a tier 3 run. There are currently 2 maps, Forest and Desert. Each have 3 different tiers, tier 1 being just one zone, while tiers 2 and 3 require you to travel through a portal to get to the next stage, exactly like Risk of Rain 2. Tier 3 requires you to beat 3 areas and a final boss. This is a lot easier said than done, because the game scales so exponentially hard that if your build isn't strong enough to essentially AFK, you've already lost. Gameplay. There isn't much of that. This is a survivor-like after all, and every weapon is playing the game for you. Now, I'm going to, as the kids say, get real, because truth be told, I hate this about survivor-likes. My brother in Christ, if I wanted to sit there while monsters molested me, I would have played Fear and Hunger instead. Wink wink. But this survivor-like has a trick up its sleeve. The movement is unbelievably smooth and really fun. Simply put, you can jump and you can slide. I know. That doesn't sound crazy at all, until you realize you can V-hop. Fun fact, this started out as a bug, but the unbelievably based developer decided to keep it in, because it's fun. Seeing this feature is what got me to get the game in the first place. It's a great form of skill expression in a genre that doesn't have much of that. Each character has a different speed and jump height, so learning how to do it on each character takes some practice. Now, let's talk about the enemies. They're nothing too crazy. You've got the classics like goblins, ghouls, slimes, mummies, and etc. You've got the iconic enemy that explodes when too close. Love to see it, always a staple in these kinds of games. There's even scorpions that poison you. Oh, and we can't forget the best enemy in this game. Balls that move just fast enough for me to absolutely hate the desert map. You've got mini bosses and full-on bosses like Chunkum, who ends most of my runs, because I thought 4 bloody shrines was a good idea. Or how about Scorpion Nussy, who ends every single one of my runs if I dare activate even 1 bloody shrine, and ends most runs by just spawning. These 2 mini-bosses are pretty nightmarish, and compared to their alternatives, Rock and Sand Golem are a little too strong. As for bosses, there's only 2. Chadbark, the forest boss, and Little Anubis, the desert boss. Side note, the final boss, Bark Vader, takes away your weapons, and I just find this pretty lame. It reminds me a little too much of another boss. Visually, I really enjoy this game's art style. There isn't really much to say about it besides it's simple and very retro. I particularly enjoy the low FPS movement. It tickles my brain in a way that I can't quite explain. Finally, let's talk about the track, because oh my lord, it's really good. Yes, with such incredible names such as She Mega on My Bonk All Night, Wonder Bonk, and Big Bonk Theory, you already know you're in for a good time. The OST is a absolute masterpiece, and I highly recommend checking it out on the creator's channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Overall, I really enjoy this game. I personally think it's the best in its genre. My only critique is that there isn't a female goblin character who gains 1% inflation per level. I think most people can enjoy this game, even if you hate survivor likes. Keeping up with this game's serious tones, my final score is mega out of bonk. It's $10 on Steam, go get it. Thanks again to all my fellow vermin who've showed nothing but love and support. It means quite a lot to me. Like, holy shit bro, I went from a little under 200 subs to more than 1600. Insane. We are slowly, but assuredly, growing. And maybe one day, we'll even outnumber the Merchants Guild. If this video seems short or rushed, that's because, well, it is.
Life is pain!
I wanted to work on a shorter project that I could chill out with, considering how hard life has me by the balls right now. Think of this video as a filler episode. Trust me, I'm cooking up some major bangers for the future, with one of the next projects being something I know some of you have been waiting on for quite a while. So, with that being said, thank you all again for watching, and stay tuned.